Okay, good morning. Gazalaylo here, Bondi Guru. I hope you're all doing really wonderful. I'm just going to set myself up. I'm a little bit delayed this morning. My meditation and pondering time took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. So I'll jump on very quickly with the forecast. I'm just going to set all my templates to make sure that everything's recorded. So you guys may notice yesterday I did the live here on YouTube. I also was doing the live on Instagram. And the problem with that is then I wasn't able to cut any of the video because it takes 24 hours for it to process on YouTube. So I didn't have videos yesterday for the daily forecast and may need to get another phone to be able to do the lives on Instagram as well. So today is, what are we? Thursday, the 13th of November. And I want to share something with you guys that I feel is incredibly powerful and useful. And that is that when you get an intuitive, here's the thing. I mentioned this to the Pisces, I think, yesterday. When let's just say something that you love in your life that you want to bring to fruition in your life. What's really important first is to get into a quiet space internally. Good morning, Isabella. Good morning, Tara. So you want to get into a quiet space. Now, you could do this at the coffee shop. You could do it at home. Also, if you're not someone that is very familiar with present moment and present moment awareness, then I suggest you do this at home in a quiet space. But you need to close your eyes and you keep being aware of your breathing, being aware of the inner sensations. Because when you do this, first of all, you land into the here and now. You're in the present moment. And you don't have to try to think your way into designing what you love. There's a very big difference between using your imagination and then trying really hard to think and force something in your mind. Okay, that doesn't work. And so let's say you're in a space that you feel deeply relaxed, which you do through present moment awareness. Then you'll start to, from a really relaxed space, let's say you see your vision, whatever your vision may be. And you keep seeing it. You may see the details. You'll know when you've seen it because there'll be a feeling within you that is like, that's it. I can see it. I can feel it. You'll know this. It's very clear and you can tell. I assure you that you'll be able to tell the difference between feeling what you're seeing and thinking, which is trying to force something that you can't actually see. So I'm talking about bringing a vision to fruition. For example, when you see it, the tendency, that's your intuition showing you. Now, what we all have a tendency to do is go, great, I saw it. Now, how do I get to that? The moment you've done that, you've disconnected from that vision, you've disconnected from what you've seen, you've disconnected from your intuition. Now what you're going to do is go and create a plan from your head, which is your ego getting involved, on how to bring that to fruition. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. So two things need to happen here. One, you've got to be able to see it in your imagination, okay? The other thing is, then you need to be really patient because the how of that vision, again, through intuition, quiet space, will come to you. The plan that you create around bringing that vision to fruition isn't it. That's the really difficult way of doing things. That's where your ego gets involved, and that's where there's a lot of effort required. There is always effort required. It's just the effort doesn't need to be in the places that we're giving energy and attention to. The effort needs to go into the quiet space. The effort needs to go into being really patient. So once you've seen the vision, it's clear. It's there. You've seen it. Now you've got to keep coming back to the present moment, practicing going into that quiet space, and your intuition will guide you with the next step. It'll guide you with what you need to do. It'll show you how to bring it to fruition. And how your intuition and the how from your intuition is very different from the how from your plan. Very different. The how from your plan is based on your limited understanding of yourself, life, resources, so on and so forth. So that's why you see people, they say, the grind or whatever it is that they say. I've forgotten the words, and they put so much. It's exhausting. Becomes exhausting. Nothing wrong with it. This is how we learn. We live. We learn. Nothing wrong with anything either way. It's just there is a way that it has ease and grace and allows you to experience what effortlessness is, so long as you remain connected to intuition, which is present moment awareness. Okay, so I'm just giving you this hint of something this morning before I dive into the forecast. Practice this. And these are the things, by the way, that I'll be talking about in the new course I'm going to be running. By the way, the course is basically it's called Intuition and Present Moment Awareness, and it's a weekly. It just runs each week, right? Every week I'm going to jump on and talk about intuition, how to access intuition, how to be present, and deliver insights, but also more importantly practical steps, because people need to know how to do this, right? And then I'll take questions and I'll support people in the group individually, personally. If you have personal questions, I'm happy to answer them. And those courses will just run each week, and it'll be roughly around, for example, maybe $60, $70 each time the course is running. The reason for that, one, is because, well, people need to understand the simplicity, I feel, of present moment awareness and intuition. And that's not stuff I can run through necessarily in the mornings, because I've got to get through these forecasts. Part of it is also to support the daily intuitive horoscopes to remain free. Otherwise, they can't remain free. So it's one way of supporting the business to continue moving forward, so that I can keep delivering these daily intuitive horoscopes for free, which I love. I love to do, and I always want to keep them free. I just also have to allow my intuition to guide me as to the next steps. And that's the step that came to me and became really clear. Okay, so that's that. Now let's dive into the forecast for today. So what I did yesterday is I went and sat down my usual coffee shop. I go down to Bake Bar in the mornings, and I took my pen and paper with me, and I decided to make things a little bit easier for myself. I'm just going to write one line, of course, intuitively for each star sign. Then I'm going to elaborate on that one line. It's the same thing that I do with the yearly intuitive horoscopes. And guess what? The 2026 yearly intuitive horoscope themes are now done, which I did this morning. Very excited to share that with you guys. Okay, so that being said, let's get into Aries. Really, really good. Okay. So for the Aries today, it's give thanks to that which has been your constant in your life. There is either a person, or it could be a pet. I'm not sure what it is, but it feels to me that there's been a constant in your life that has supported you through the ups and downs, that has supported you through moments of chaos and mayhem, and then also supported you to come through those moments of chaos. And it could be an audio that you've been listening to, it could be a book that you've been reading. Something has been your constant of late, and it's important for you to acknowledge this today, especially if it is a person in your life that has been your constant. Take the time to say thank you. If for some people it could be, one energy, universe, whatever you want to call it. Take the time today to show your appreciation for this constant. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you take the time to show your appreciation, you get to acknowledge how life has been supporting you. The moment you acknowledge how life has been supporting you, that's when you'll shift your focus in its entirety to something that is far greater than the past thoughts, ideas, and the people that just are around you that do lots of talking. You'll be able, through this moment of acknowledging and appreciation, shift your focus in its entirety. Now, shifting your focus completely for the Aries that's where your game changer is. So I say game changer because the truth is, as soon as you shift your focus, that is your game changer. What a lot of people, what we do when we wake up first thing in the morning, where is our attention? It goes straight to everything that happened yesterday, the day before. This is the same old thoughts. They're all on repeat. And I say this every morning. First question I ask myself in the morning is, how do I love to feel today? I get on with my moment. take care of the dogs, the pets, whatever. And then maybe while I'm sitting down sipping my coffee, it comes to me. I'd love to feel whatever it may be, and that's the energy of my day. So guess what? I have to keep lifting myself up to align with that energy for the day. Okay, now, and so when I said to the Aries, it shifts your focus because a lot of your energy and attention has been on things that are not serving you and supporting you and dragging you down, especially people. You have people around you at the moment that are not useful. What I mean by that is people around you at the moment that are fighting for their limitations and they want to stay where they're at. And you keep trying to go, no, you can do better, you can be better. Stop. That's not serving you and it's not serving them. They need to go through what they're going through. And part of the reason why you try to pull them out is because of your judgment of where they're at. So just be mindful of that. You've got ideas that they should be somewhere different. And unfortunately, those ideas are actually not really true. I had people, I sent a message out this morning on Instagram where I just put a picture out that the 2026 yearly forecast, I'm working on them. It's so funny because people then message me and say, I had one this, be kind to like this star sign, or please tell me like really great things. It's like it's not like I sit here and make it all up and there's one star sign I love and one I don't. It's whatever comes through. Those types of messages always make me laugh. Okay, Taurus. Beautiful. So for today, the key for the Taurians today is to practice the art of observing. So it's all about observation just for today. There are no big, wild, amazing decisions that you need to make today, dear Taurus. I thought I said Scorpio. Apologies if I did. Dear Taurus, there are no big decisions that need to be made. The only thing that you need to focus your energy and attention on, of course, starts with present moment awareness so that you can observe. There are certain, I want to say, situations that are unfolding in your story, in your life at the moment. And some of these situations need to unfold before these cracker decisions can be made, right? Because you've got some really great decisions sitting in the back of your mind that you've become aware of that you can make in your life, just not today. So today's allowing. It's aligning with the energy of allowing. Allow the stories to unfold. Take a step back, breath, present moment awareness. This way you have the power to observe the stories without getting lost in them. When you are not present, you then identify with every story, thought, emotion, and that's a wild roller coaster ride that you do not need to be on. Okay, so in particular for the Taurians, once you go on that wild roller coaster ride, it's really difficult to get you off it. So the key today is let it unfold and align with the energy of allowing. Short and simple. I'd love to keep these as short and simple as I possibly can. And it's very simple for the Taurians today, although I feel like sometimes the Taurians love to complicate things. Very simple. Very, very simple. Just observe today. Nothing else needs to be done. And observation must always be done via present moment awareness. Otherwise, of course, you're going to get caught up in the thoughts. I forgot my water, but I have my coffee here. Beautiful. Okay, so then we're going to dive into the Geminis. Guys, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask. There are moments of respite from that dark cloud for the Geminis today, which is wonderful news. And these are moments where you'll feel as though you can come up for air again. As you come up for air and you have moments of respite from the dark cloud, which essentially is perhaps a very big emotion that's within you that is every other day is becoming more and more expressed, right? So there's an emotion that's remained in your body for a long time. And over the recent probably year and a half, this emotion has been rising to the surface. And the part that is risen to the surface is a part, that you're able to acknowledge and feel and allow to release. So that's what's been going on for the Geminis. It's a very big emotion. It's not something that will just you get to feel in one day and it's gone necessarily, because it comes from a very long time ago, and it's sat deep in your body for a very, very long time. I'm just sharing this based on the energy that I'm feeling for your star sign. And so the beautiful part of today is that you get respite from this really big emotion. And as you get respite from it, there's a moment of creativity. This moment of creativity will show you the next step forward in your life. It's a moment of creativity that will, once it shows you the next step forward, there's a lot of inspiration and moments of, I've got this now, I can do this now for the Gemini. So that the moment of respite from that dark cloud, which is that really big emotion, will support you to feel far more relaxed. So of course you've come up for air, and it kind of changes the scenery a little bit, and then that connection to creativity comes along for the Geminis today. I love that for the Geminis. I just want to make something clear about emotions. There are some emotions that are too big for us to feel in its entirety. That's far too much pain in one go, if you like. I don't know how else to describe it. And so the best thing we can do is, whenever that emotion is triggered, so life comes along, creates certain situations, life meaning you. It's just that a lot of people don't see themselves as life, so we'll just talk about it as though it's separate, although it's not. So life comes along and creates, situations for that emotion to continue to be triggered. And for the Geminis, it feels like it's the same emotion that's been triggered for like a good year and a half or so. It's not a good or bad thing. I just want to make that clear. It doesn't mean you're not feeling it. It doesn't mean you're not dealing with it. It's just it can't be felt and dealt with in its entirety. Nor does it need to be, because you have to live as well. Okay, then we have Cancerians. Good. So I'm just using my one line. Okay. So new options are entering your sphere, dear Cancer. And for you at the moment, the key is to just keep moving forward. Now, these new options will support you to create a change in the work that you've been doing. So there's something that you've been working on for quite some time. And the way that you've been working on it has also created a bit of exhaustion for you. It's almost as though you're the only person doing what you're doing, right? And it's exhausting. And it cannot remain in this way. I guess what I'm saying is that it's not sustainable. You can't continue to keep doing what you're doing and then it's just expect that success comes from it, because it's actually not sustainable. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The key for you today is to know that you are moving forward. And as you allow yourself to have that connection with, okay, I am moving forward in my life, what you'll find is that new doors begin to open where certain support starts to come in and enable what you're doing to go to that next level. So what I'm really saying to the Cancerians is you've brought it as far as you can as an individual. It's no longer sustainable for you to do whatever this thing is as an individual. It's time for you to now accept support and help. And so by reminding yourself today that you are moving forward, taking the time to acknowledge and notice that you're moving forward, that's what opens doors for you, and that's where the support comes in. Okay, so I found lately, which I find this really interesting. It's not a lot, but just a few. Often the messages that I get, 98% of the messages that I get, whether they're DMs or emails, are profound. Profound in that people are so appreciative and, they resonate with the forecasts and, it can be life-changing and so on. All of those messages, which I appreciate greatly. Then there's the very rare few that take things to a place that is far too personal, meaning that they've turned the forecast into something that is very negative for themselves. I don't believe that these forecasts are positive or negative. I don't care to be positive or negative. I don't think that's useful. My job here only is to be super present so that I can deliver whatever the forecast is, the content. And what I take very seriously is the responsibility of the words that I'm sharing. That means my entire existence and my life needs to run in a way where being super present is my number one priority and remains that way. So, for example, you won't really see me going out on a wild night out because something, not that it's a good or bad thing, I've certainly had my days back in the past, but things of that nature will then affect my ability to truly be here in the present moment, right? So anything that's going to affect that ability, I'm not going to waste time and energy on it because there is a great responsibility on me. And the more people that see these forecasts and read them, this is something that they use as a compass in their own lives. So I take it very seriously. Now, sometimes I'll get messages where, and it tends to happen from the Cancerians, where they feel like I'm either bullying them or, nothing good is for them and so on and so forth. Sometimes it makes me chuckle a bit on the inside because it depends on the star sign that's sending me that message. And what I often see is, well, of course, as a Cancerian, that's how you're going to take it. I don't respond with that. There's no point. Usually I don't even respond because I don't see the value in responding. However, I'm sharing this with you because what's really valuable is your ability to also be in the present moment. As much as I have a responsibility to make sure that I am present, that I'm aware and conscious of the words that I'm sharing and expressing, I may not understand them fully or understand the forecast fully. You are also responsible in how you take it. So the responsibility lands on both of us. You are responsible for the information that you are receiving. If you take the time to be in the present moment, then you get to receive the information where your intuition will interpret it at the level of consciousness that you're at, level of awareness, and so on and so forth. And that is incredibly valuable. And guess what? When you take the time to be in the present moment as you're receiving your forecast, you also get heaps of different insights about your personal circumstances, your personal life, your inner world, and so on and so forth. And that's the stuff that really matters, not so much what I'm necessarily saying, because what I'm saying has to be quite general. Remember, I'm talking to each star sign. That's huge. Now, for me to talk to you as an individual, yes, I can do that, only if you are tuned into the same frequency or vibration as me, which is present moment awareness. So if we're both tuned into present moment awareness, how you receive the content, the forecast, and what you can do with it and what it can do for you is a game changer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to reach out or ask. We're going to jump into the Leo. Oh, I'm loving the Leo. I've actually sat down and written the Leo for just the one-liner for the next few days. And I love doing it that way because the further away that I write, it's almost like the less involved I have to get with it. It's easier for me to write the forecast for, like, say, January 23rd than it is for today. Much easier. I don't know why, other than I have no involvement in it. That's the only way that I can describe. There's no pressure. It's like, well, it is what it is. It's the 23rd of January. I kind of feel like I can put my hands up and go, it's got nothing to do with me. Okay, so for the Leos, just 1 second. Ah, yeah, beautiful. That's right. Change, change, change. Wonderful. So for the Leo, dear Leo, you have the opportunity today, starting from today in your life, to learn a new skill. And it's a new skill that will support you, I want to say 3 to 4 months down the track, where you'll look back and go, I'm so lucky that I took the time to learn this new skill, because of where it begins to take you from about 3 to 4 months down the track. So what are we, November, December, January, February, March. So roughly around in the month of March, the skill that you have the opportunity to learn from today, around March, that's when it will really help you take off in your life. So something that you're working on will really take off for you in your life around the month of March. The key for you today, however, is to be open to learning this new skill. I'm sharing this with you because sometimes, and if not a lot of the times, for the Leos, when something new comes in where that you have to learn and grow, there's resistance. The first thing that tends to show up as a Leo is resistance. It's almost as though you take it a bit personally, like, oh, why should I have to, do this? Oh gosh, that's another thing on my plate, and so on and so forth. So What I'm going to recommend for the Leos today is be open. Understand that that success thing that you're working on will take off in March, but not without this skill set that you get to start learning from today. I'd love to hear from the Leos. What is the skill set that I'm referring to? Because I have no idea, but I want to hear from you when it lands for you today. It's it's a trait and characteristic of the Leo from, again, I'm speaking basically purely from intuition, where it's almost the norm for the Leo where resistance comes up. There's nothing wrong with it, by the way. In fact, here's what you can do with that. Use it as a gauge. The moment resistance arises for you, know that that's your sign that you're about to move forward with something. And something great. You're about to access greatness. So every time resistance shows up for the Leo, that's how you can gauge it. That's how you can shift your traits and characteristics into something that you're able to use and appreciate and grow through and with. Because if you look at traits and characteristics of each star sign, you'll see some as negative and you'll see some as positive. In fact, I got to say, traits and characteristics are probably one of my favorite things about star signs, intuitively, not what you read in textbooks. And so it's very easy for a Leo to go, oh, God, here we go. There's that resistance piece again, and I hate feeling this way. What you can do is flip it. Hang on a minute. The resistance means greatness. Okay, got it. Now I know that because there's resistance here, there's actually greatness that's turned up in my sphere. Let me be open. I appreciate the resistance because it's showing me that greatness has arrived. Oh, you don't think that's going to be a game changer? Of course it's going to be a game changer. Yes, yes, Tara. It is, isn't it? Okay, so that's for the Leo. I guess you can get on with your morning now, Tara. You've had your Leo hit. Okay. Now we've got Virgo. Ah, great, great, great. So much better when these are pre-written a few days before. It just makes my life so much easier. Okay. It's okay for you, dear Virgo, to change your mind. And I'm sharing this with you today because it feels to me that, let's say you made a decision at some point recently, it's more recent times in your life to move forward with something, right? I'm not sure what the decision is. Then today there's a change of mind, a change of heart. And you have a lot of judgment around changing your mind for some reason. It says, well, you shouldn't change your mind. You've got to see it through. You've got to stick with this. Sometimes the change of mind comes in because your heart wasn't set on the decision you made in the first place. And so the decision was made from a place of fear, anxiety, from a place of need, from a place of, oh, I hope this is going to be the thing that's going to change everything, something of that nature. And so you weren't grounded and feeling solid and present and aware and conscious of that decision. Because when you are grounded and you align with decisions that are true for you, your mind doesn't change. There's no need for it to change. There's a solidity about you and your decision-making process when you are grounded. When you're not grounded, an ungrounded Virgo is a dangerous Virgo. And I say that because the ungrounded Virgo is a dangerous Virgo. And I say that because the picture that I just got for the Virgos is it's almost like an ungrounded Virgo is a Virgo that's like someone spinning and just spitting out toxicity. That's what it feels like. So what's really important for a Virgo is to first be grounded. And now the decision today that you change your mind on, I'm going to say trust that and understand that the reason for the change is because it was never, your heart was never set on it in the first place because you weren't grounded when you made the decision. Gosh, sorry, that was a bit of a tongue tie. Virgos, yes, so sometimes I'll say things, or I say a lot of things in these forecasts, but everything's new to me because it's based on intuition. So I personally, for example, didn't know that about the Virgos. What happens is as I'm sitting here delivering these forecasts, I'll get a picture. So I got a picture of the Virgo of, like that woman, but she's spinning. And as she's spinning, she's just spitting um, toxicity because she's not grounded. And so that's what happens with it. That, to me, I've got to take that picture now and translate that into words in the space of 1 to 2 seconds, because the picture comes in, boom, now I've got to translate that into words, which is, by the way, why sometimes you'll hear me talk very, very fast. And I think that's quite common with people that do this type of work, because I've seen it before, where all of a sudden you see them get into the zone, which is their intuition, and boom, they start spitting really fast, spitting words very fast. Okay, so that's, I just want to make sure I've saved that. That's for the Virgos. If anyone knows a Virgo, know that when they're in that spinning state, it's simply because they are not grounded. So maybe you can support them to be grounded. And the best way to support somebody to be grounded, by the way, is first ground yourself. So not by telling them to be grounded, but you have to ground yourself first. Okay. Okay, so now we have Libra. Okay, so there's a shift also for the Librans. I noticed when I wrote this down, something feels a little bit different. So there is a little bit of a shift for the Librans. There's a shift in energy for the Librans. And so at the moment, it's about taking the time to start getting clearer on the bigger picture, dear Libra. And I say start getting clearer on the bigger picture, because for a long time you haven't been able to focus on the bigger picture. There's been so many moments of distraction and certain things going on in your life that haven't allowed you to stop long enough to recognize, hang on a minute, there is a bigger picture here. So today your opportunity is to recognize that bigger picture, which means you need to stop, slow down, and align with the energy of the bigger picture. The energy of the bigger picture, which, by the way, will be your intuition, will show you something about you and your bigger picture that you don't have any understanding around at the moment, or you don't even know anything about, because a lot of your attention has been on all the little details, and it's needed to be there, of course. So the key for you at the moment is to stop so that you can slow down and then hear and feel the pull to give attention to that bigger picture. And maybe you'll see the bigger picture. You'll see maybe not details, but maybe certain pictures around the bigger picture. And the bigger picture usually, by the way, is connected to what you love, your vision. That's important for you to know that. And so you can see something that you really love through this moment of connecting with the bigger picture, and then you bring yourself back to the moment and you get on with your moment. I love that because it's different for the Librans. A lot of the messages for the Librans have been just the same over and over and over again, which sometimes I'm like, oh no, we're boring the Librans now. But I feel like there's been a shift in message, so that's a relief for me. Not that it's necessarily my job to keep the audience entertained. Sorry guys, just checking, make sure I downloaded Libra. I did, yeah. Okay, now we're going to jump onto Scorpio. Beautiful. You're opening your heart, dear Scorpio, to new conversations now. So what this tells me is that there's raising, excuse me, vibration. It tells me that you've decided to let go. I don't know, I'll explain this a bit further. You've decided to let go of a situation that you've been holding on to really tightly. You've decided to let go of an outcome of a situation that you've been holding on to really tightly. And as you've been holding on to the outcome of that situation, it's caused a lot of grief and pain and somewhat suffering and a big struggle for you. So this is wonderful news. Now, I just want to say this part. It's not that you decide to necessarily let something go. The letting go process occurs itself when you shift your focus and attention on something different. And I feel like that's what's occurred here. So now you can have new conversations. And for example, the new conversations are about leaning more towards what you love, leaning more towards decisions that you're able to make, leaning more towards seeing possibilities and appreciating changes that are coming through. So there's an uplift for the Scorpios, which is wonderful. And my feeling also is that this uplift will create inspiration through you that will be delivered to some of the people around you. That inspiration will help them lead to, I want to say, paths that feel quite successful, something of that nature for the Scorpio. And I want to share that with you because, wow, what a difference it makes when you're uplifted. The power that you have to inspire when you're uplifted is a different ball game. That's actually really cool for the Sagittarius. Scorpios. So again, that's something I didn't know. So I get the picture and I deliver whatever it is the picture shares. And I can see now there's a lot of power that the Scorpios have. And when they have hits of inspiration, the way that they're able to support others to rise into their successes is tremendous because of the inspiration that they experience themselves. That's incredible. Okay, then we're going to jump on to Sagittarius. Just take a moment. Okay, Sagittarians. I'm just reading the thing that I've written for the Sagittarians. Remove. Okay. Remove its power by shifting conversation, dear Sagittarius, by changing the words that you are using when you describe yourself, your experience, your life. There are certain words that are low vibration words that you continue to use to describe yourself and your life. And those low vibration words keep you stuck in the same repetitive patterns. There's a repetitive pattern that is quite destructive in your life. And you're keeping yourself stuck in that repetitive pattern, by repeating the same words. And so what's going to be incredibly valuable for the Sagittarians today is to start to pay attention to what words are you using when you're talking about yourself, your situation, when you talk about other people, when you talk about your dreams, your visions. What are the words that you're using? Pull out the words that are lower vibration. I want to say obviously, but it may not be necessarily obvious to everybody. There are certain words that allow you to feel more expansive, allow you to shift your attention to higher vibration, high frequency, whatever you want to call it. And there are some words that drag you down. And so you need to know the difference for yourself. And today is a day for you to pay attention to this, in particular, that inner dialogue. A lot of that inner dialogue will talk about how limited you are, how you can't do this, you can't do that because you don't have the resources, you're never going to make it here, things of that nature. That's the stuff that's really bringing you down. So now you need to start to pay attention to the words of the inner dialogue, and yes, you need to change it. And you need to, but before you can change anything, before any shifts, first you have to be aware of the words. And my recommendation for the Sagittarians is to write these words down. So Sagittarians have some homework to do. I mean, don't we all? Write the words down. Words are everything. Words, they will make or break you. They will make or break your dreams. Each word carries its own vibration, which is why when I do the yearly forecast, the first thing I focus on is the theme of the year. And sometimes the theme has one word, sometimes it's got 2 or 3 words. Because I know that the theme of your year for your star sign, the vibration or the frequency of that word is what carries through all of your decisions. It's what carries through your entire year, your lessons, your awakenings, possibilities and opportunities. You make or break your life with that one word. And you have 1 year. Every year there's a theme. You have that entire year to keep recalibrating to the energy of that theme. It's actually really, really, really powerful. We have the ability to create remarkable transformations in our own lives when we pay attention to the words that we are using. We all have that ability. It's not easy, but we all have that ability. 1 second. Okay, so then for the Capricorn, it's 8:40. We got through this pretty fast, and I've also been able to deliver some things beyond the forecast, which is the purpose of these morning sessions. Is all part of it anyway. Really, the purpose is to make sure that I have a great, what's the word? One, that the forecasts go out every single day on time, which now they do, 8 a.m. And the other thing is it pushes me to make sure that I create better disciplines in my life, and timing for me is everything. Okay, so for the Capricorns, I didn't say that very well, but I'm guessing you guys get what I'm saying. You're not missing opportunities, dear Capricorn, and this is something that you really need to understand today. Otherwise, what's going to happen is this whole fear of missing out, FOMO, that seems to be playing out at the moment, is going to lead to unnecessary decisions that will make your life difficult. You don't need to make your life difficult. If there are moments where it's quiet and boring, embrace the quiet, embrace the boring, right? If there are moments where you kind of go, well, I don't really know what to do, embrace that too. And the reason I'm saying this is because there's an energy of, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Next thing is this. And this is coming from seeing what other people are doing, just as an example, and convincing yourself that if you've got to do the same things, but they're not actually aligned with your vision, they're not aligned with who you are, they're not aligned with your life. And the reason that you'll look at that and convince yourself that they're things that you have to do as well is because there's an energy of fear of missing out. So for the Capricorns at the moment, there's a bit of FOMO. Relax. Come back to the present moment. Before you start making a bunch of decisions that are not useful for you, that will take you a long time to recover from, embrace where you're at. Don't waste time and energy comparing your path with somebody else's. Doesn't matter how successful they appear to be. Leave it alone. At the moment, the more quiet that you can experience, the better off you'll be. Through that quiet, what is truly for you in terms of actions and decisions will reveal themselves. I want to go as far as saying it's so easy to make decisions based on the comparisons that we do, and part of it, and in particular for the Capricorns, but part of it is the fear of missing out. So if somebody else is living their life, in a particular light that looks really exciting and fun and blah, 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 of course, that's all the parts that they show. They never show the rest of it. But it's very easy to go, oh, that looks great. That's what I want to do. And then next thing you know, you've made 101 different decisions based on somebody else's life, which is very common. Okay, so then let's just set this up for the Aquarians. This is great. The dogs are nice and quiet. They're all waiting for their morning walk. Gold, gold, gold. Okay. The story changes and bends according to what you know to be true, dear Aquarius. Okay, so I wrote this down just the other day for the Aquarians. Now, what you know to be true is different to what you think. Very, very different. So I'm going to talk about truth statements for the Aquarians. And I want to make this really clear. A truth statement needs to be true. So let's say you decide on a vision or a dream that you want to bring to fruition. That needs to be true for you. I say this because there are many dreams and visions that are very easy for people to go, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that vision on. I'm going to take, that's the dream. That's my dream. But really what they've done is just become a carbon copy of the other person. So that vision or that dream is actually not true for them. Your truth statement, your dream, your vision needs to be true. So whatever the vision is needs to turn into a truth statement. And it could be, for example, if it's something that you're looking to bring to fruition, it needs to be in the now. The truth statement suggests that this is something that is happening in the here and now. Of course, the thoughts in your mind are going to go, that's not possible, because that's not really what's happening right now. And your job is to keep bringing the truth statement and connecting with how that feels over and over and over again, regardless of all the thoughts that are going to get in the way and want to interfere and prove to you that no such thing is happening. It doesn't have to be a battle. It's as simple as whatever it is that you write in your truth statement, according to what you're bringing to fruition, make sure that in the truth statement it's already done. No, it's not an affirmation. It's not faking it till you make it, because those things are not true. The truth statement needs to be true in the here and now, and you've got to be able to feel it. Now, what I'm suggesting there takes work. It takes a lot of work, because just about every single thought in your mind is going to negate that truth statement, because it's going to say, but that's not what's really happening right now. The story will bend as long as you honor your truth statement as the truth. And unfortunately, I don't really know how else to share that with people. It just depends on the space that you're in and how you receive what I'm saying, because you need to have a lot of present moment awareness when you're receiving that type of guidance. That type of guidance isn't just for the ordinary. And what I mean by that is the ordinary as in, well, I'm just sitting here, sipping my coffee, kind of thinking about everything else, and then I'm partly listening to what this person's saying. That's what most people do. I'm talking about somebody that is here fully in the present moment, not thinking about what I'm saying, and is open and has the capacity and ability to receive what these words are sharing. Then you'll be able to understand, oh, okay, I see what she means by a truth statement. And that will be like 1% of people, because most people will allow the thoughts in their mind to negate the truth statement, because it's not what they see in the mirror. It's not what they see in the world around them. So they rely on their eyes more than they do on feeling and intuition. Bring the truth statement into the here and now in the form of a feeling. Use your imagination. Bring it into the here and now in the form of a feeling. Once you've connected with that feeling, then you're telling the truth when you're reading your truth statement. Okay, then we go on to Pisces. Oh, I love it. Okay, let's go. So for the Pisces today, it's one thing at a time and keep moving forward, which is key. Never mind perfection. So this is a huge one for the Pisces, because perfection is your greatest block, dear Pisces, and can be your greatest block. The idea that you need to be perfect, or what you're doing has to be perfect, or that there is even such a thing as perfection, that becomes your greatest block. And this is why I'm saying to you, one thing at a time, and then keep moving forward. The moment you start to think about perfection and that the journey needs to look a particular way, sound a particular way, the process, this is how the process should be or should look like, that's when perfection comes in and you stop. The problem is you stop doing things altogether. There are a few areas of your life that you're working on at the moment simultaneously, and it's working for you. The key for you, however, is to keep moving forward and not allow the idea of these particular areas of your life having to look a particular way, which is the idea of perfection. So essentially, the Pisceans can really get caught up in the idea of perfection. So you have to be very careful about that. Okay, as I said, that a call came through. Damn it, and I lost the video. That's okay. I'll redo the video in a second. And so when I redo the video, it may use different words, may elaborate further. So Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, and that is it. That's the daily intuitive horoscopes for today, being Thursday, 13th of November. Please take the time to read the section in your daily forecast where it talks about the work that needs to be done. That's how you get to hear your own intuition. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, DM, or email me, guru@bondaguru.com. And also, if there are questions that you'd like me to answer and you can't be here, all you have to do is send them to me and I'll present the answers here. Thanks, Tara. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.